Hi, my name's Lee and I'm a Biosecurity Officer with Gunnedah Shire Council. Today I'd like to talk to you about weeds. My role as a weeds officer is to basically oversee the management of invasive weeds and environmental weeds on council roads and reserves, and also on private and public property. More often we speak to private landholders just in regards to any problems they might be having with weeds, and give them some technical advice, and at times we need to speak to public landholders as well, and they include state forests and national parks, to give them the same information and to make them aware of their obligations under the Act, and to give them any help that they might need to control their weeds. First of all, I think the primary approach to weed control, particularly on private property, is to contact the landholder, and then we go onto their property and with them sometimes, if they've got time, come with us, and we have a look at their property and see if they've got any problems on their property, and if they do have problems on their property, we offer them the advice to help them clean it up. Since the drought, the latest drought that we've had quite a high incidence of feed being imported into the councils. Feed was extremely hard to get within New South Wales, and landholders turned to sourcing their feed from further afield. And in some cases, areas like Queensland, in some cases, areas like Central Queensland, where Parthenium weed is endemic. And it's presented us with the problem of feed coming into our state with the potential of having Parthenium weed in it. We expected that could be a problem when feed was being imported into the state, and that has been confirmed by finding Parthenium weed in 2 or 3 shires in the northwest, and as a direct result of feed being fed out. So so we encourage landholders, if they are buying feed from outside the state, to try and buy it from a recognised vendor and have a vendor deck from that vendor, and to make sure that when they bring it onto their properties, that they feed it out in a single spot. Don't feed it out all over their properties, and just monitor those spots once they've fed it out. And just be vigilant all the time, particularly when they've bought feed in from other parts of New South Wales or interstate. Well, I guess since the break in the drought, and that's been really great in one respect. In another respect, it's been quite devastating to some landholders who've found that they've actually imported Parthenium weed onto their properties. And of course, in the case of Parthenium weed, it's a priority weed. It must be reported to a weeds officer that you have Parthenium weed on your property. And in saying that, people or landholders must remain aware that we're not there to wield a big stick. We're there to help them out. Of course, if they've got Parthenium weed on their property, we're there to help. We're not there to wrap them across the knuckles, of course. But just bear in mind, it's a legal requirement to report Parthenium weed if they find it on their property. Well, along with our priority weeds, we have certain weeds that we've been looking after for a number of years now, and they are a bit further down the priority list, but still priority weeds, and they include alligator weed that we found in the Namoi River in 2012, and St John's wort that's been a perennial problem around our shire for many years. We've managed to keep both of those weeds contained, and that's been with the help of landholders and our neighbouring councils. Just being aware of where you're sourcing the feed, and there's a lot of information out there on the net, the web, to tell you what weeds are in what areas. Just be mindful, or speak to your local council weeds officer, and just run it by them. Discuss with them which area that you intend to maybe get your source your feed from, and there's every chance that they'll have an idea of what weeds might be prevalent in that area. Well, thanks for listening, and I hope you've learned a little bit about weeds. If you need some more information, call your local council weeds officer, or the biosecurity helpline.